Welcome back, Daily Show. Hitting you in the nose at 10:02 for that full conversation. That was a replayed interview with Mr. Keller and Mr. Schwartz. We were just kind of previewing the candidates forum there a little bit, which will be coming up in just a couple of days, next Tuesday for Alton, right there at the formerly known Best Western Premier Hotel. Yep, and you will be there.
Yes, I will be there.
Joining us in the studio now, Alderman for the 5th Ward, John Meehan. How's life treating you, sir?
Well, it's been a while since I've been here at the show, but life is good and things are progressing along, and I've learned a lot of things since first being put on the council back a year ago, July, when my good friend and great Alderman Charlie Brake retired. I just don't understand why he retired. He was only 93, but he was a gem. He was a very, very good man.
Well, and it seems like, when you step up into a role like that, there's a learning curve, and it seems like you dove right in and were really trying to learn as much as you could.
Tried to, and I'm still learning. It's really, that learning curve is a very long, tall, long curve, so I'm still learning.
Well, and you find yourself in a different position this time around, for speaking to other incumbents that are in office, because you've only been there for a little bit of time now, a cup of coffee, and now it's time to put the name on the ballot and run again.
Right.
Was there ever a thought that you weren't going to seek re-election? Or
yes, because not that I consider age anything to do with I am a retired teacher and I'm retired, but I'm not really retired. And having this position, I take it seriously. If there's a meeting, you're at the meeting. You have to plan your vacations and your time around that. So it's a responsibility, it's a dedication, and I decided let's go for at least one more term, maybe out of respect for Mr. Brake.
Yeah, and take me through the last year. What you've been able to accomplish with council and some of the things you're proud of.
Well, there are a lot of things. When you are an elected official, once you're elected, before you're elected, you could say back and forth things, and then people judge,
right,
and then they vote. But when you're in office, you have to really feel that you represent all the people, all your constituents. So there are times that votes will come up at city council where I myself feel a certain way personally, but when you get comments all against what I'm thinking from my constituents, right, I have to go with them,
Mm-hmm.
And there are some issues that came up this year, and whenever an issue is done, you think, well, my gosh, it's done, but then as soon as you're done, there's another one coming around the corner.
Well, 100%, and it's not like there's any book that you could truly prepare. You know what I'm saying? There's not a how do I handle this with Ward 5. You can't look that up on Google. That's something that you have to learn and be immersed in. And take me through some of the conversations you've had with the 5th Ward residents, just on some of the things that have maybe concerned them, what they're talking about as we get closer to April.
Oh, I have to tell a story. I received a call from a lovely lady. I will not identify this person, but another new friend, another neighbor that I met, and she called about a particular problem, and I happened to have time, so I went straight to her house and called her from her front porch, and she said, where were you at? I said, I'm on your front porch. She said, oh my gosh, I've called the city 9 times, and I call you and you're here, right on my front porch. But it's things like that. You're trying to contact with people. There in Alton, I think in all communities, there are a lot of people that live by themselves in their homes. And I tell you, the pleasure they have, and I have, when you just sit down and talk with them on their front porch on a hot July afternoon, or call them, or I brought one of my, she's not a shut-in totally, but I brought her a little poinsettia, and you thought I brought her a pot of gold from a leprechaun somewhere. So it's a lot. You are constantly going. Some days are very quiet. Nothing. Then other days it seems like a domino, and you have this domino effect. And one of the honors I have as being an alderman, I have access to certain phone numbers, private phone numbers for the chief of police, for the fire department, and for the street people. And I feel honored really when I have that access, and I could call them and we talk over a situation that might come up. So there are a lot of I guess some perks, a lot of stress. It is not a job that you just sit home and do nothing. I drive the ward every day. I have.
Do you really?
I drive the world. Not my ward is like all the wards. So I drive many of the streets. Okay, if I find something, if there's a couch out in the street, or if there's or things like that, I have the number that I could call Republic. Remember, folks, if you have large items, you could call Republic, and each citizen gets 4 calls, and they'll come pick up that couch or that sofa. Bedding has to be wrapped now.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So things like that. So it's busy and sometimes quiet.
Well, and right, with that being said, too, just kind of following up on this a little bit more, in Ward 5, are the issues just is it streets? Is it are the main issues? Is it crime? Is it streets? Is it traffic? Just from what you've been hearing, just talking to folks.
A lot of it has to do with streets. I'll come back to that in a little bit. But a lot of times there are homes that are vacant. At one time, Walton had a population of close to 49,000 people, and now we have a population of 25,600, 700, according to the last census. It doesn't take a very sharp person to figure out that we probably have an overabundance of housing. Some housing has gone to heck, and some of our housing is older, and it goes to heck a lot faster than a newer home. So I might stop by. There might be a house with an open door vacant, so I'm calling the police, calling the city, and things like that. With the streets, Alton prided itself at the turn of the century for having all the streets then covered with brick. Beautiful brick. And then in the 60s, 70s, they started covering over with asphalt. The brick is very solid, and it drains away, but it doesn't let water go down. When you cover it with maybe 2 inches of asphalt, and you get a rain in the wintertime, a good rain, like an inch and a half rain.
Like what we had almost.
It gets underneath the asphalt. And then if you have a week of 2 degrees, 4 degrees, it snaps that top off like a pie crust. There's some thought of maybe taking off some of those top coverings and leaving the brick, but they're noisy. They're historic. I don't mind the noise. It kind of slows people down.
So I was getting ready to kind of say that it would be, to me, more of a speed deterrent, too, in a lot of neighborhoods that are seeing an increase in speeding and just reckless driving overall.
Yeah. And right now with the city, there's a list you could Google it, there's a list of brick streets in the city, and some are asterisks. And they say that they are protected, absolutely. The other ones are not. And I'm kind of thinking about maybe making all those streets protected. If they are not protected now, before they cover them over with asphalt, these are brick streets that are existing now that are not protected. They call the Alderman. And the Alderman and the Streets Department make that decision, and they have done a few where they've taken the covering off. And, this is pretty bad. Let's cover it back over again. Yeah. So the streets have always been a problem. And folks, I tell you, anywhere in the country of the United States where you have cold winters and warm, hot summers, you're going to have potholes, and it's something that comes up in every publication, every newspaper from every city in the north.
You have a moment to stick around, John?
Yeah, sure.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with the Alderman for the 5th Ward and learn more about his campaign and ways that if you would like to be involved and help support Alderman Meehan on his march to April 1st
April 1st.
And we'll come back with more Daily Show right after this. RiverBender.com.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. Which is good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 10:13, a little bit of change on this last day of January, the 31st day of it. How about that?
Last day. Oh, my God.
Did it feel like a long one for you?
Oh, my God. Well, I don't know. As you get older, it seems like I determine the passing of years by holidays. So Christmas is over, New Year's, Martin Luther King, and now Valentine's Day. And that they move along quickly. They really do as you get older.
Well, and it seems like there's so much that was just normally when January comes around, the news cycle isn't as strong just because of people getting back into the groove of things. But it seems like right off the bat, there's
we're running.
been,
Took off running.
And with campaign season being here, how are things looking? What's some of the items on your campaign you'd like to discuss today?
Well, I'm going to be putting out yard signs and things like that. I'm working with a small team of really super people that have come forward, and these are really professional folks that just have retired, and they said, we want to help you.
That's cool.
So some signs, we'll be having some mailings. I'm going to try and hit some doorbells, It's there are a lot of houses, a lot of doors, and I have enjoyed so much. That's the one enjoyment, going out and meeting new people in the ward. Mm-hmm. There are so many good people in the city of Halton from all walks of life that just really need to talk to and just sit and get to know his neighbors.
Absolutely. And with that being said, speaking of walking, your ward's a little hilly.
Well, if you look at the ward map, it's really kind of all jiggled around.
It is.
It's like the river's down at the bottom, and there are 7 fingers going up, and those are the 1 to 7 wards. You know.
Well, and that's another thing, too, and it sounds silly for me to say this, but it's so true, is there's a lot of people that don't necessarily know what ward they're in sometimes.
Right. There is. I do ask people, when I meet them off the street, when I'm not in their ward, I'll ask, what ward you're in. No, I don't. So I just, I introduce myself because I'm one of the 7 aldermen, and, maybe they'll say, well, I like that. Well, maybe we'll talk a little bit.
And you can communicate with them. And that's what I think is so important too, is the fact that whenever you're having those conversations and someone gets to learn a little bit more about it, they might not be all the way educated, but just informing them on how maybe the ward map works, because just things like that go a long way for a lot of residents.
Or they'll say something. I didn't know that. I said, well, yeah, that's the way it is.
Well, and speaking of that, if somebody wants to volunteer, say, hey, John, I really want to have a yard sign up. I'm living up in Ward 5. How do they reach out to you?
You could go to the city website, and as alderman, all my information there. My personal cell phone is there, and my email address, because I'll put some signs out, and I do promise, I've never done this before. I've helped people. They will be down either election day or the following day,
There we go. I like that.
No, it just drives me nuts when these people
that's
put these
a big
signs
issue.
out, and they leave them, and it's May.
Weeks,
No, they need to be taken down. And we do have ordinances. They're supposed to be, but who,
Well, hey, I like the campaign promise regardless. That's
I'll put them out, I'll take them back.
And that's a nonpartisan issue, John.
Right. And then, all these candidates, we were very fortunate because there are some municipalities that when they have elections like this, no one comes forward.
Yeah.
And, I think when you're elected in a position like this, you should not be congratulated.
Yeah.
You should be thanked.
Yeah.
I would much rather thanks, John. Thanks, John, for running, and if I could help you in any way, because it can be kind of a stressful position. I'm the kind of person, I will stress out about decisions. I'll lose sleep over it. I'll be, oh my gosh, that big. And sometimes, being that there are 7 aldermen, there's one that could tip the scale either way.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're that one, and it happened one time. I thought, oh my, I saw the eyeballs roll in the audience. I thought, oh gracious me, but it was done, and it all worked itself out in the long run.
Well, and the thing is, too, you have to have, I think, that type of mindset and passion when it comes to your civil service. I mean, if you have an alderman that isn't kind of worried about these things, and I'm not saying it's good that you're stay,
stressing,
but it does show the because it's a full-time job. Being an alderman isn't just when you decide to be.
No.
Just like being a government officer. I mean, you've got to be willing to pick that phone up at 2, 3 in the morning sometimes.
And sometimes they'll ask a meeting, can I see you right now? And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm not on a timetable with a full-time job.
Right.
When I was a teacher, of course, I knew exactly. It was there at work from 8, till. But you do have some free time. I hear when you're retired, totally.
I heard retiring just when you work for free.
Well, that's an interesting concept, of retirement.
Well, with that being said, too, as you guys are getting closer to April, you are still, actively working as an alderman. You're still in that position, and you're campaigning. Is there anything right now that's coming down the pipeline? Any projects that you have? Nothing gotcha question. Just if you have anything you'd like to inform the public on today.
Oh, I don't know. We're constantly, we are really, the idea of streets and problems like that with streets, we're working on that all the time. We try to patch, and weather has a bearing on it in every way. You know? Especially in winter months, you can only put certain products down like that. And then, with maintenance, if you own an older home, you know that some people just kind of let it go, but it's an expensive process. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes materials that are going up.
Yeah,
and it
big
takes
time.
manpower or people power to do the work, and that's all going up too. So there's there's budget restraints and timelines and things like that, which is that's part of the stressful. Some people want, for example, they want their road done now. And I was at a meeting one time, and this man said, "Well, why did they put that brand new road in that neighborhood, and my road is falling?" And I'm there to listen. I do a lot of listening.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, my gosh, I didn't jump on that person. But, you have to, yes, your problem is important, undeniably. But we try to approach it and say, we're going to tackle this. And I always say, I can't promise you the world, but I can give you a block.
Well, right. Well, and on top of that, too, when it comes to those projects, some of those were, there's so many different timelines on when things happen and when processes started. So who's to say when, something was started a little bit before or afterwards? It could just be the duration of it, just the coincidental timing.
And
or
if
something.
a road problem comes up, a special road project, where grant money is involved, we have to be careful on timing, because we can't just do the project now. We have to wait for the funds to come, and to get the funds, we have to go through a series of steps.
Absolutely. Alderman Meehan, great to see you.
Hey, yeah. Good to see you.
We'll take a quick break. More Daily Show comes down the pipeline here with another great interview right after this on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.